of what he is becoming. But he's becoming a pass receiver CD. He's becoming a physical runner. It really looks like in the second half of the season he's really coming to his own.
Second quarter, you see Mac Jones. The game is really out of hand, warming up. But Tua and Coach Saban having a conversation of some sort. We don't know what it was, but Tua stays in the game. All right, 35-7 game. Tua running. You worried about the right ankle, aggravation of an injury maybe? And initially when he's taken down, you're thinking maybe that's what it is. Alabama would hope that that's what it was. You see the issue of them coming up. Hip dislocation. The Athletic reported it first. Here's Nick Saban.
We were going to put Mac in, and then we said, we'll let Tua do 2 minutes before the half just for practice. And, you know, I don't worry about players getting hurt, but certainly don't want to see anybody get hurt, especially him.
Yeah, that was the situation. That's why he says he was in. Right hip dislocation, out for the season. That has been confirmed by ESPN. Again, the dislocation first reported by The Athletic. Tua, after the game, was actually airlifted back to Birmingham for CT scans and MRIs. They're continuing to evaluate. Jones connects with Henry Ruggs. Now Ruggs is in some pain. And he walks off the field not feeling his best. Alabama gets the win 38-7, but this is not what a team that's sitting in a situation where they're under consideration for a playoff spot, despite the absolute likelihood they will not be playing for a conference champion. This is the last thing they needed, and mostly because of Tua Tagovailoa's injury, which has him out for the season. Here's Nick Saban.
I know that everybody's most interested in Tua's situation. You know, he has a hip injury. It's going to be evaluated. I don't think it's related to any other injury that he had. It's kind of a freak thing that, you know, you seldom see. We felt like if he could move in pregame, which we took him out before pregame, before the team ever went out, worked him out, he was good. He was at least as good as he was a week ago in terms of his ability to move. And I didn't think that anything that he did affected his performance, you know, in this game in the first half. And so, you know, so the guy played, and I thought he played really well. And, you know, we hate it that he got injured. We hate it for him. We hate it for his family. I hate it if any player on our team gets injured. So, you know, I mean, Godspeed to him and his entire family, and our thoughts and prayers are with him, and hope this is not so serious that it has any long-term effect on his, you know, future as a player. I really don't know the severity of what he has. We're going to take him to Birmingham and do CAT scans and MRIs and find out. And, you know, we can second guess ourselves, you know, all we want. We told Mac to warm up. We're going to go 2 minutes for the half. You know, Tua wanted to play in the game. And so, you know, I don't really make a lot of decisions based on, you know, worrying about guys getting hurt, or I'd have taken Raekwon out and Ruggs out and everybody else that got hurt today out. You know, so we have total confidence in Mac, and I thought Mac did a good job when he went in the game.
So, there's that. Take it where you want.
First of all, the criticism of Coach Saban for having Tua in the ball game, I think it's a little unfair. Obviously, if your quarterback's healthy enough to go, and I'll refer to you on this, Coach, you have a plan for how long you want your quarterback to play until you get up by a certain amount of points at a certain point in the game. I don't think it was unreasonable for him to play the first half. I would have been surprised to see him come back in the second half. But the injury that he suffered today had nothing to do with his ankle. It was a freak play where two defenders fell on him and had their full weight fall right on the point where it dislocated his hip. I don't think there's anything wrong with the decision that Coach Saban made to play him into that part of the game.
Well, look, people are going to, after the fact, people are going to second guess a lot of different things, right? Now, I will say this. This man is one of the highest paid men in college football, and he will be, probably as history would have it, go down in history as one of the best coaches ever in the game, right? You can't really question his decision. What I do know about Nick is if he had any reservation that any player could get hurt or was playing with hurting to the point where he could get hurt worse, he wouldn't have him in there, okay? The second thing is when you listen to the press conference, what he says makes sense. I don't coach thinking about players getting hurt. There's 3 minutes left in the half. You want to get him some 2-minute work. He admitted last week he thought he was a little bit out of sync on some things. This is live work with 3 minutes left. I get all that. The question will still be asked. How far do you want to get up before you pull him out? That's up to them and their staff. Some people say, well, you're up 28, you're out regardless. Some people say, let's play him the first half. I don't know what that looked like, but I know this. That's one tough young man, and I'm hurting for him. I can tell Nick's hurting for him, but that staff would never make any decision if they thought the kid had a chance.
Yeah, I think the point that could be discussed, though, is the fact you have Mac Jones warming up on the sideline, Tua's slapping 5 with his offensive lineman, presumably looking like his day is done at that point in time. To have a player come and kind of change your mind, I think that might be the only part that you could probably, if you have a plan in place as a coach, specifically a guy like Nick Saban, hard for me to believe that he would be willing to change his mind for a player lobbying to get more opportunity, except if he's saying, hey, I don't feel good about my abilities in that 2-minute drill last game. I'd like to get a little bit more work there.
But here's the thing. I don't know what that conversation sounded like. I don't know if he was lobbying, not lobbying. I don't know.
Well, Nick said what we did not hear in the soundbite. Nick did say this, and he said, look, Tua's our number one guy. Tua gives us the best chance to win. Tua wanted to play, basically. And that's...
I totally understand that. Tua's going to want to play no matter what's happening, right?
He was healthy.
Now, he could have come up and said something to him, you know, whether that was a lobby to get in or not. I've listened to players many a times where I'm saying, look, you're out. And he'll say, Coach, man, one more series, man. You know, and I don't put that guy in because, and I'm saying, no, he's going to get hurt. You know what I mean? So, sometimes you do listen to a player. I don't know whether he did or he didn't. But I'm not going to sit here saying 30 years of coaching, a player came up to me and said, hey, Coach, man, one more catch. Hey, Coach, man, one more of this. One more. And all right, I'm going to give you one more series and then you're out. I've done that. So I don't know if that happened there or not. But that's not unreasonable either.
It's also not unreasonable to say if we're going to give you a little extra work, we'll do it against Western Carolina next week.
That's right.
Just a thought.
Well, you don't think he could get hurt against Western Carolina?
Absolutely.
And you don't think there's a more
But that's in a
likelihood?
0-0 game.
It's not
in
a
the first quarter.
But that's the other side. That's the other side that's real. That's the other side. That's what everyone's going to ask. Get him out. You're up by 4 touchdowns. Get him in Western Carolina. We'll get him a quarter or two there, and let's get him to the Iron Bowl healthy.
But I tell you what, you question Nick Saban, you question Bill Belichick, you question Phil Jackson. I mean, what are you doing?
Right.
You just
look,
he knows what's best.
The sad part about it is we've probably seen his last throw as a collegiate football player, but the dude lit it up in the first half today. Unbelievable. First 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns, started the game 9 for 9, only had a couple incompletions on the day. So if that's the last memory that we get to have of him, certainly he went out with the style that we expected him to play with.
No doubt.